Hi, this is Nicholas again. For today's video, I thought I'd just chat briefly on what I've been working on over the past week as well as the last couple of days, and how this relates to marketing for a marketing agency, a marketing consultancy. So last week I attended an event. There was an event for marketing agency owners. All right, so it was a big event. I think maybe about 20-30 people, in a decent size kind of co-working space, and all marketing agency owners there. So I think events and networking obviously is one of the go-to methods for a lot of agency owners to do their marketing. All right, so no different for me as well, except that I have not been really focused on this in previous years. I mean, do it very sporadically. So this year I'm making a big effort to really kind of double down on this, all right, and make sure I have a bit of a plan around it. So right now my goal is to make sure I attend at least 2 events per quarter. So there's this book that I like a lot called The 12-Week Year. It talks about setting goals within the context of 12 weeks, so like quarter, right? So kind of adopt it this year for my overall kind of framework for doing my own marketing. So for this quarter, for Q1, my goal is to attend 2 events, right, in-person events. So I attended 1 already, so that's really good. I think getting that tick off in the first half of January. So yeah. So I think the big challenge for a lot of agency owners tend to be that they go to these events, they shake a couple of hands, exchange name cards, and then after that, nothing, right? Nothing comes out from a lot of this work that you have put in. So I think that one of the things I'm trying to change here, even for myself here, is that to making sure that post-event I have a strong follow-up process. And part of that relates to a different goal I have for the quarter. I call these coffee sessions, right? So, you go to an event, you meet people, but it feels interesting, but you don't really have enough time to talk at the event itself. So at the networking session, so what really is important is making sure you have a follow-up process after that, all right, to kind of arrange to meet up with that interesting contact, lead, or whatever. All right, so my target for this quarter is to make sure that I have 12 coffee sessions per quarter, all right, and I break it down into 6 and 6. 6 of the sessions need to be a first one-on-one kind of coffee session that I have with this person. It got to be the first time, right? The reason I have this is that it's very easy to get into a mode of that you have people that you're comfortable talking to, and you're always just meeting those same few people. So part of the reason why I break down the goal into half, 6 of which needs to be with new people that I never sat down with before for a coffee session. All right, so and then the other half, the other 6 sessions need to be somebody that I actually had met before, sat down one-to-one before. And that's also important because very often you could also become the opposite issue. You could have the opposite problem where you actually spend all your time meeting new people but never really building strong relationship with anybody that you meet. All right, so that requires time, face time, nurturing, more constant communication. So by having this breakdown of 6 and 6, I feel that this is a good way for me to make sure that I would not just invest time in meeting new people but also nurturing existing relationships as well. So I put events and networking into one box, right? Because I find that they are often very strongly related. So that's obviously box 1. Just to say that following that event that I attended last week, I have scheduled coffee sessions with 3 people from that session. All right, so and then before that, in fact, the same day before that event, I actually had a coffee with somebody that is somebody, I mean, I suppose you can say that I have a existing working professional relationship with. So that's really good. So I think I tick off once those 3 coffee sessions materialize, I have ticked off 3 for new people and then 1 for existing contact. All right. So I think event and networking is one box that people often rely on. So, and that's no problem. I think that's the important channel for most agency owners, marketing consultants. The other thing I've been working on is that I was in fact exchanging texts with somebody. I'm going onto his podcast next week. So I was we're just texting in terms of what questions he planned to ask, what questions I should be answering during his podcast session. This person, his podcast is very much focused on trade shows, conferences, events management. So I'll come in my perspective in terms of acquisition of exhibitors, visitors and leads for an event, for trade show, for conference. So I find that marketing through other people's platform, that can be very helpful. So podcast is obviously something that is getting more traction over the years. It's not the first podcast. In fact, it will just be the second podcast session that I'll be joining. I've done one in the past, and I think this could be helpful as well and it's kind of a good way to build content. So to share. So I think I wouldn't say podcast specifically, but I think content marketing in general, whether that's through LinkedIn posts, through podcasts, that's a key avenue for marketing as well for a lot of agency owners. So I do a bit of LinkedIn posts, not enough, but I should be doing more. But I think this podcast will be something that I can use to repurpose into new content as well, right? So earlier, event and networking is one box, content marketing in the form of podcasts or LinkedIn posts, whatever. So that's the second box, right? The second channel basically. The other thing I've been working on is, in fact, I just sent across I sent across a marketing agreement to somebody that we have been talking to for a couple of months now, hoping to get this closed off by this week or by end of January latest. It actually came through a referral. So I think referrals obviously is the other big channel that there's a key marketing channel for a lot of marketing consultants and agency owners as well. So I put referrals and strategic partners in a box because I find that referrals, of course you get one off from a friend of a friend, for instance, but I find that the best referrals and the most consistent source come when you have some strategic partners that you have built a strong relationship with, and they know what you do and they consistently are sending you leads and referrals. So in fact, I not just this, so I'm meeting the lead in 2 days time. So that came from a referral, and so I've been nurturing this deal for a while. But also I have a new prospect that came through my call with a strategic partner yesterday. They are a software partner of mine, right? I use their software for outreach work. They themselves are interested in engaging my services to help them. So referrals, strategic partners, another important channel for most marketing agency owners. Lastly, I was answering a bunch of messages from different folks who I have actually reached out to via LinkedIn. Outbound is the other key channel that I think that perhaps is a little bit overlooked by some agency owners. They are comfortable doing networking, strategic partnerships, but maybe by less comfortable with outbound. I find that that's a pity, because outbound can really be a really consistent source if you really kind of focus on doing it consistently. So like in my case, because we execute that for clients, so we also execute that same process for ourselves, that LinkedIn outreach process. So I had one that responded to me saying that he was going for reservist, but happy to chat when he's back. So that's great. I have one that actually I was supposed to have a call with her in 2 days time, but she had to cancel because she had to go to travel overseas because of some family emergencies, I think, and that's okay. I'll follow up with her again. I have a call this Friday with somebody who I had to reschedule me in the past once before, but it also came from an outbound outreach that I don't know the person, but the profile looks like somebody that I'll be happy to conversation with, and I reach out via LinkedIn, and got that scheduled. So in fact, probably off the back of my LinkedIn outreach work in December, I have 4 calls scheduled in the first half of January, which is traditionally a slower period of time. But so outbound can really help you to pick up the slack when you are maybe low on sales opportunities and leads. So I think I'm sure we'll chat more on this in future. But just to sum it up, the 4 channels that I kind of look at for marketing for agency owner, the 4 would be events and networking, content marketing, podcast, LinkedIn posting. All right. Then third is referrals and strategic partnerships. Fourth is outbound. So hopefully that gives you a bit of a framework as to how to think about your own marketing for your business, for your marketing agency, for your marketing consultancy. All right. Hope that's helpful. And that's it for today.